Hello, dear ones. I am Eleonora from the channel The Awakening Path, and I'm here with my dear friend, Mayra Rath. She is hypnotist. She has a QHHT certification. She is a perfect person for you to trust to do past life regression. But of course, I'm going to let her talk more about herself. I just want to talk about my public. Many people are in a different path. There is a lots of people that are attracted to my channel that just started to hear about spirituality. They probably never heard about QHHT. They have no idea what it is, but we're gonna explain you in a very easy way that you can follow along with us. So welcome, Mayra.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Thank you for having me. And just to let people know, that's how we met, is you actually had a session with me. So I'm very happy to be here.
Actually, I had it too, and I did talk about those sessions and what I got as outcome of those sessions. If you want to check my video about that, I really recommend. I may put in the description of this video. So, Mayra, tell us about yourself and how did you get into work with QHHT, past life regression, and
Yes.
other wonderful things that you do to help people.
Yes, it is wonderful. Well, I have been a past life regression therapist since 1999. And I will say it was difficult to find clients back in the early 2000s. It was really hard. I had to find unique, creative ways to connect with people that were more spiritual. I would go into metaphysical bookstores to connect with the owners there and see if we can do group hypnosis, things like that, of that nature. It has been a long road to get to that point of doing this full time, which I am just in such gratitude for that. That my practice is full time now, so, and has been for many years. But in the early days, it was challenging. I've had many teachers along the way. Dr. Brian Weiss, who wrote Many Lives, Many Masters, he's the one that I read that and I knew that I wanted to do this work. So he's one of my teachers. I went on to become a certified hypnotherapist with Marissa Peer. And Dolores Cannon came a little later. It's been probably about 5 years now. And I've had, again, several different teachers that I have learned different techniques from. So. Oh, and so did you ask about what is QHHT yet?
Not
Sorry.
yet. That's the next
Okay.
question. So explain what is QHHT for someone who never heard about.
hmm Yes. So QHHT is a method that was created by the late Dolores Cannon. And some people, if you're, in the spiritual platforms of social media, have definitely seen one of her videos. They are shared just thousands of times. She's an older lady and she loves to speak about past lives, UFOs, ETs, other planets. And her technique was unique because she does the past life regression, but in her technique, she was able to tap in to your multidimensional lifetimes outside of Earth, right? Because how is it that it's just Earth and it's not, right? It is incredible where you can be, what planet you can be. And so I think that's what was missing from my practice, is to really tap into the galactic lifetimes. And funny story is once I completed the certification with Dolores Cannon, the very first session that I had, because I had been conducting past life regression now for, 18 years by that time, and it was all earth lives, right? And of course, spiritual, astral
The
for sure.
different lives.
Yes. But the very first time I had a session, once I completed the course, my client went to another planet, right?
Because you were ready.
I was ready. Yes, exactly. And yeah, it's almost like you check that box. And so over the years, I have had moments where I have more galactic lives coming out of my sessions, past life regression included. You don't have to have a QHHT session to have a galactic life. The doors are open. When they're open, they're open, no matter what session you're having. Um, but QHHT stands for Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. And again, that is Dolores Cannon's method.
Since we are talking about that, can you expand a little bit on your service? Because you kind of open the range a little wider and
Mm.
incorporate different things with the QHHT. And can you explain us more about that
Yes,
service?
yes. And I'll be really honest right now, although Dolores Cannon has been wonderful to teach this method. She passed away, I believe, in 2014. And so her daughter continues to teach the method. But, I've been doing this for a long, long time. And, I noticed that there are limitations to QHHT. It has to be done exactly the way Dolores did it, right? And although you can take her work and have an excellent session, I felt that there were some things missing, right? And so because of that, and because of how much I have evolved over the years of conducting these sessions, I've basically combined from all of my teachers and also the way I have grown and ascended, including channeling myself. Um, so I have created my own technique called Soul Ascension Hypnosis. And in Soul Ascension, I'm able to combine what I've learned through QHHT, but bring in light language channeling, which I am a light language channeler. And we can talk about what that is. I incorporate Reiki at times. Why not? Why not? If you're
Right.
receiving a healing by the higher self, why can we not also incorporate and bring in ascended masters and angels into this healing, right? Um, some people get in the way of themselves while they are having that session. Their ego can get in the way. And this is why I call upon, the celestial beings to step in, right? To step in
Wow.
and do this. So,
That's exactly what I do with my Reiki sessions. I suggest that
yes.
you have me and you interview me in what I'm doing on another time. But that's
Hmm.
wonderful. And everything is really connected. And if the spiritual world, the light beings, they are there, waiting, wanting
They are
to
waiting.
have an opportunity to help us.
Hmm.
And they do without asking anything in exchange.
No,
It's a pleasure to them.
it is. It
So
is.
why not use what's available for us?
Exactly.
And we get amazing results. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So our next question is, when should we look into exploring a past life regression?
Yeah.
What type
So,
of help can we get from it?
mm, wow. Um, so I would, you know, if you're curious about your past lives, and some people they're still um, an incredible amount of people that don't believe in reincarnation. But if you are curious, I get so many comments. I've always wondered, I've always been curious. I've wanted to do this. Well, what's stopping you, right? So know that sometimes you're going to get the nudges. You're going to get nudges. And somehow, even in social media, you'll start to see videos and things. They're planting little seeds because this is spirit wanting you to explore. Mostly it takes a genuine curiosity about who you have been. Okay. And so, can you hear the dog? We might have to edit
No, you are
this.
good.
Okay. Okay. Um, Mostly it is a genuine curiosity. And when you start to get that feeling and the thought, do it, do it, do it, it's like little messages. It probably happened with you until finally, then you start researching who do I want to work with, right?
Yes.
And sometimes it just falls on your lap, literally. The person that you're meant to work with falls on your lap. And so, anyone who is genuinely curious, having the advanced QHHT session or a soul ascension hypnosis allows you to see multiple lifetimes, usually around three of your previous lifetimes. And the beauty of that is you don't know where you're going to go. You can go past, you can go parallel, where lives are happening concurrently, and that can happen, right?
Yes.
And future lives as well. Yeah.
Let me share what benefits I got from the sessions I had with you. I had two
Okay.
sessions. The first one was funny because I thought I didn't went in trance at all. But
Yes.
by the time I got to your house, you started seeing butterflies, all my guardian angels, all my galactics was all there and working on me. There was that beautiful conversation we had that where I released so many things, so many emotions. And later on, after the session, I realized that my 2020 vision was back because
2020.
for
Hmm.
we asked it for. So that's the healing part that will be the next question. I kind of spoiling.
Yes.
And the other time, when you have, why go to the past? When you unlock an information, you release.
That's right.
By you understanding that the thing that was in your DNA, in your subconscious, that was really holding you back, that you don't even know that was there, but influencing all the decisions you make, gets released on those sessions
Hmm.
because you are able to look at them with a new perspective, and also because your higher self is there with you and helping do all those release. And the funny thing is, after the second session, when I woke up, the first thing that came to my mind, uh, connect to your higher self and write a message from your higher self. That was the first time I did because I didn't know I couldn't.
Right.
So it's coming in my mind is because it can. So I
Yes.
try it, and then so this session, because I was there releasing and clarifying my mind with that beautiful way, things get unlocked. The gates get
Yeah.
unlocked. We have so many gates of information in our body connected to our soul, all the layers of our body. And the work that's been done in the background is very, very deep. Maybe you never really know in detail what it's about. But your light beings, your higher self, your guardian angel, everybody is there working really, really hard to
Hmm.
release and to get you upgraded, to get ready to your mission and move forward.
That's right. That is right.
So that was amazing. And
Hmm.
anytime that I'm thinking about have a past life regression, QHHT, you are my only
You
option.
will not regret it. There's so much to learn. And, you know, anxiety has been extremely prevalent in um, on this planet. It's been growing, growing, growing. People are medicated because of their anxiety, and you have to wonder, where is this coming from, right? Where is this coming from? Why do you have this anxiety, which really is just fear? And we have anxiety, we have fears, we have phobias, we have sadness, depression, we have procrastination. It's like, why? Why are there certain traits and conditions that are coming out of nowhere, right? And
Actually,
so,
it's not exactly nowhere. It's all in our subconscious.
yeah,
And it's put in there from programs that you are not even aware of.
true, that is true, but a lot of these fears are actually coming from your previous lives, right?
That's true.
Yes, they're coming. You don't know why you have fear of driving, or maybe of highways and freeways. You have fear of flying. You have fear of heights. And when you have these irrational fears, there was no accident. You don't know anyone that died on an airplane. Where's the fear coming from, right?
From
So
past life.
it's coming from another time, and we can easily, easily tap into that past life, recall it, see it, experience it, not in a way where
Mhm.
you're reliving it in no way, but it allows you, it almost desensitizes you once you see it, right? And you can be healed immediately. Who
Oh,
needs those fears?
yes. And I just learned something else, and not really just a while ago, that it can also be a generational trauma
Yes. Hmm.
that's passed through generation and generation. And one funny
Hmm.
thing is, lately I've been releasing a lots of things, and some are not even mine.
Right.
I was having a pain, a weird pain on my neck that feels like I was being stabbed on my neck. And I
Yeah.
asked my hair self, what cuts come from? That's weird.
Yeah.
It's all that's you are releasing a generational trauma.
Hmm.
Oh, let me get emotional on that.
Aw.
Somebody, long, long, long time ago, I don't
Yeah.
know who was, but somebody in my generation got stabbed by his son and he saw it.
Oh my
So that
goodness.
trauma is big.
Wow. That's amazing. And somehow there's an imprint of that energy that attaches, right? So it's really
Yeah.
incredible. Hmm.
Wow, that's so much. But let's not
Yes.
scare the people too much about that. You are always safe, and
Always.
your higher self is always with you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
really, there is
It's,
nothing we
yeah.
need to fear about.
No, no. And a lot of people, like recently, someone just reached out to me, sent me an email like, what are your tricks? They said, what are your tricks to get me to connect with my consciousness? And it's like, well, I'm certainly not going to write down what my tricks are. I can tell you I am trained. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I provide you with all the tools that you need once you book a session, including a pre-hypnosis audio to help you start getting into that space of letting go, right? So tools are coming your way to help you. But it's so, so important to trust why you want to do this. Trust that spirit is going to show you the lifetimes that are needed, because you've had sometimes hundreds, thousands of existence, not always human, okay? Not even that.
Mhm.
When I take people to the Akashic records through hypnosis, last week I said, show them one of their non-human lifetimes. And they opened the book and showed her a life where she was an underwater being on another realm, right? A water being, mermaid-like, but not, right? Very, very intelligent. And so when I say you have hundreds, it's not human lifetimes, right? So You are shown what you need to see for healing, for growth, for strength, for closure. Spirit knows you the very best, right? They know what you need to either help you release, help you heal from something, help you move on from something. And it just blows me away every single time they get it right. Every single time. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Mhm.
It's been wonderful. This question is kind of, I'll give you a background on that, but is there any danger that can come from a QHHT session or hypnosis or past
Mhm.
life regression?
Yeah.
Can someone recover a memory that I'm not able to handle at the moment? Let
Mhm.
me give you a little background on that.
Okay.
When I first heard about past life regression and hypnosis was more than 20 years ago. And I started to asking around, and people always discourage me. It's dangerous. Don't
Oh,
go there.
that's so silly. Yeah.
Somebody even told me you may never wake up from
Oh,
hypnosis.
I still hear that. You get stuck in hypnosis, which is completely unheard of.
So I just realized there is a lot of fear around really use those techniques that can help you tremendously
Mhm.
because the range of help that can come from a hypnosis session, from any spiritual energy healing
Mm.
is very vast because it's working all layers of your body, spiritual, mental, emotional.
That's
And
right.
the physical is only the consequences, only
That's right.
the symptoms.
That's right.
So, and the fear not always comes from religious dogma,
Yeah.
but it's time to demystify those fears. How
Yes.
how can we do that?
It's interesting. I just went to an expo, a spiritual expo this past weekend. And, I spent a good 10 hours just talking to people coming through my booth. And I'm just shocked when I do this and connect with people how much fear there still is out there. And I was asked several times, what if I get stuck? And I don't want to laugh about that, but where have you ever heard, right? Someone physically, that's like saying you're getting stuck into sleep, like you're going to sleep and you don't wake up. Well, if you don't wake up, you were meant to not wake up, right? It was
Yeah,
your time to go. But we do this all our lives, lay down, close our eyes, go to bed, go to sleep, and we wake up in the morning. You do not get stuck. And that is the same direction that I'm taking you is towards sleep, right? I'm not taking you to a place you've never been, all right? There's only four brain states, four, and you go through them all day and all night. You're moving through beta, alpha, theta, and delta, right? And that's where I take you, deep, deep alpha, or eventually you get to theta. I'm not taking you to this place. What if I can't get there? You're already there. You do it every night, right?
yeah,
So it is very, very safe, right? And it's just like falling asleep and then waking up in the morning, right? But there's so much juicy stuff to uncover when
yes,
you're there with a trained professional, right? So it is one of the most natural things to do. It is completely safe. It is extremely healing. It is expanding, right?
yes,
It's like we are just creatures of habit, and that's what our ego does, the same, more of the same, the same. And I can't tell you how many people have written me that having a session is has completely changed the trajectory of their lives. It's exactly what you needed. And sometimes it's a kick in the ass, right? It's like wake up, right? They want to, what are you doing? You're wasting your life. Some of my clients last week, usually because things are fresh in my mind. So I keep saying, last week I had someone, they're saying, you came here to have fun. This is supposed to be a fun life for you where you can sit back and relax, right?
They call it resting life.
Yes. And it's like these struggles are all self-induced, all of them.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let go of what's behind you. Let it go.
Let me give you my view on how I see that. I see that my personal case. Since the very beginning, when the idea started coming to my mind, I was sure that I was being led by my higher self, the Holy Spirit. And he went with me to the session, to your place. He was
Yeah.
there.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
all my guardian angels,
Yeah.
all the lights being that are assisting me, they were all there.
All present.
And then some people think, oh, but you are tapping on the unknown and the spiritual. What if some demon come?
Mhm.
Oh, that's it. That's the thing. Of course, you're not gonna do that with somebody that lives in hate, in fear, in anger, because you're not gonna feel good.
Yeah.
But it's important to choose the right person. It should be a person that's really ready, that's already has left
Yes.
some of the baggage and can be a clear channel
Mhm.
so the light to go through. And I
Mhm.
guarantee you that when I get to your house, I felt like I was in a sanctuary.
Thank you.
I knew that nothing else could ever get there than light beams.
Yeah. But you know what, Maria, even if it's not in person, right? I have a process. I absolutely have a process. Even before I click on the Zoom where I'm going to have a session, I work with people globally around the world, right here through Zoom. I would say half of my sessions are done on online. And when you're in the comfort of your own home, and some people can't, you know, there's too much noise, right? There's too much noise, dogs or kids or whatever. And sometimes it requires you to go to someone else's home for your
Mm.
session, right? We all know people where we can, take a day and maybe get the key to their home and have this session, but it's safely done online. And I have this process where I'm already connecting my spirit team with yours. I'm already getting myself into a trance myself before I hit that Zoom button, right? Already connecting. So, yeah, there's nothing to fear. But if someone, again, I get emails with questions like, what if I can't? What if this doesn't work? And it's like, you know, you're not ready, right? You're not ready yet. I feel like some people are just dipping their toe, and it's like you really need to come into this with trusting that you will um, move through this experience in a positive way. But if you start to think about demons and things like that, yeah, I honestly don't like working with people that align with that thought process. Yeah, you
I
need
think
to.
they probably won't even get attracted to you.
No. No, no, I don't think so. And that's okay that they're redirected somewhere else. I believe that my spirit team, they bring me every single person that I am meant to help, right? This
Yes,
is this is a co-creation between
that's
myself
right.
and my clients. Yes.
Let's move on to our next question that we kind
Yeah.
of mentioned a little bit. What's about the healing part of the QHHT?
Yes. Yes. So When you are in a session, by the time we are connecting you with the higher self, well, first, we're not connecting. They're always there, right? But we are at that moment where we are allowing the higher self to speak, to channel through you. We are all channels, everyone. We are capable of channeling our higher selves. We do it all the time. Let me give an example to the listeners. I always love to remind them of this. Have you ever been talking with a friend and your friend is pouring out a story? They really want to connect with you and they're telling you this experience they've had. And they're like, what do I do? What do I do about this problem? And the whole time you've been a wonderful friend listening. You are listening. And when you listen, you're actually going into a semi-trance yourself. Because when we are focused, we are actually slipping into alpha, right? Even the followers that are listening to this, they're already slipping into alpha because they are listening. It's like watching TV, right? It's like driving. It's like studying or reading. You're already shifting into, a more quiet space. So when you're listening to your friend's problem, you're already trance-like. And then all of a sudden you open your mouth and out flows this beautiful advice that even surprises you, like, whoa,
I don't
did
know
I
what's that
did I
good.
just say that? Did I just say, where did that come from? We have all had experiences like that where we just kind of blow ourselves away, like, wow, that was really good. What do you think you're doing? Right? There is your beautiful higher self, that higher version of you that, in that moment, that sweet moment of slipping into a focused, you know, state where you're able to just achieve that connection. And here comes that flow of beautiful, wise words that your friend needs to hear. So you're doing this standing up with your eyes open. Imagine what you can do when you're laying down with your eyes closed in a full trance. And all you're going to do is allow the higher self to flow through you, right? The higher self has things to say and they have many questions to answer. So people come equipped with a list of questions that they want to ask. They want to know what their purpose is. Should I move? Right? All kinds of questions. There's no question that's wrong or right. But then we lead into the healing part of this session. And let's just say, okay, I'll give an example. I had a client that had, well, maybe this isn't the best example because this was an attachment, but many of my clients come in wanting to heal certain things, like yourself. You wanted 20/20 vision, right? And the higher self gave it to you. And the reason they gave it to you is because you were ready to understand the why you are. I can tell you why I'm wearing glasses, okay? Because I have fear of the future, right?
Um,
I have some fear. I'm not perfect. I am human, right? And I will say that my higher self has healed many, many things, including my asthma, right? But yeah, these glasses are going to kind of stay on until I don't have that fear of my future. It's something I need to work on. You, my dear, you're like, I'm good. And you were ready. There was a time that you were afraid of your future. So we put these glasses on to
yeah.
see. And so you were ready for that healing. But the healing happens. We have the higher self do a scan of the body, and they will actually tell you They check all your organs, they check your digestive system, they check your digestive, the female reproductive system. They will check your chakras for you. They will check for any attachments that you might have. Perhaps you have pain in the lower back. They'll tell you the reason why, right? Or why do I have such pain, chronic pain in my neck or my shoulders? There is a reason why. So I love, love, love the healing aspect of having a session, to hear the why you have it and can you heal it, right? And
Yeah.
so I love that part. I just love, love the healing part. It's
Can
really
I add
remarkable.
a little bit to that?
Yes.
Have you read the book Soul Speaks from the daughter of Dolores Cannon?
Yeah, I think I told you
Soul
to read
Speaks.
that book. I use that as a Bible. I use
Yeah,
that as a
and
Bible. Hmm.
so all the diseases that we have is always the Holy Spirit, our higher self, trying to show any aspect of our mind that we need to see and we
Hmm.
need to heal. When you go to a Reiki session, for example, with your permission, the Holy Spirit will help you kind of see, you give you a little push on complete that lesson. But it's still your free will to go on that push or not, to go in that
Yes.
direction or not.
Yes.
And you may choose not to complete that lesson at that moment. And guess what? The disease will not go away.
It will not. No. And
It can
it
ease
can
it
get
a little
worse.
bit, depend on how it is, but it won't go away because it's to complete the lesson. It's for the lesson. All the healing and all the disease is all a lesson.
Hmm.
And they had a wonderful experience. I was doing a Reiki session with somebody in Brazil, and she had a thyroid problem. And
Yeah.
in one session, her thyroid was healed
Yeah. Very easy to heal.
because she
People,
was
yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
She was really ready.
That's right.
I cannot advertise, oh, come have a Reiki session with me that you have a thyroid problem because I cannot
Sure.
guarantee it will happen to everybody.
Hmm.
You need to be ready. You need to be willing to really complete the lesson.
That's right.
Like Dolores Cannon say, to go to the second grade, you need to finish the first. I
Yeah, it's
didn't go
that simple.
bypassing lessons.
That's right.
That's been wonderful. Let me see. I have two more questions. Do you still have time?
Yes.
Okay. If you can share, what was the experience with your clients that most impacted or surprised you?
Wow. Yeah. Mm. Well, let me tell you about a spirit because it's like I simply cannot. I have had hundreds of amazing, like, wow. Um, but I will talk about how sometimes spirit is in the room with me, and these are online, right?
Mhm.
And they will give me a message when they have something to say, right?
Yes.
And so there was one client that um, went through her past life. And when I was waking her up towards the end, I was counting her up out of the session. And she sat up. And even when you sit up and your eyes are open, you're still a little out of it, right? You
Mhm.
know that feeling. It's like
Yeah.
you're just waking up in the morning. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting here and you can see there's a wall behind me, right?
Mhm.
And I'm sitting here and I'm just sort of watching her wake up and how do you feel? And then all of a sudden, I get pushed from my back like this.
No.
Okay. And I'm like, okay. And remember that I am still also very in tune with my client and their session. And I said to her, I said, someone just pushed me, right? From my
Mhm.
back. She goes, really? And I said, yes, someone just pushed me. And I said, do you have children? And again, I don't even know where that came from. Why did I say it? I said, do you have children? And she says, yes, I do. I had twins, but one of them passed away.
Oh,
And I said, lay back down. I had a feeling that what I don't know why, but I had a feeling that this was the child. And so because she laid back down and she was already very, very trance-like, within 5 minutes, I had her visualizing herself on a beautiful beach and her daughter visiting her, right? I just asked the daughter to come into this space in the astral plane, and it was so, so, so beautiful. Her daughter was only 4
oh,
when she was killed. And in this memory with her daughter, this experience that she was a teenager. She was like 20 years old, and she looked so beautiful and grown up. And they held each other, and it was so, so special. And I asked, can you please ask your daughter, is she the one that pushed me?
mhm.
And she's saying, yes, yes. I actually shared, this on my I think on my
Good.
TikTok.
Oh,
I think on my TikTok, I shared that the very end,
very
that
good one.
portion. And it was, yeah, things like that. Sometimes I've had, recently I shared one where this little, um, this little container of crystals just flew off my desk. Okay.
Mhm.
And that was because I had asked if I should bring in a father who is on the other side, who had unalived himself. And I was like, should I bring him in so that his
The daughter,
daughter
yes.
can, yes. And
Oh,
that
so,
was my signal, like, you better. He's like, you better bring me in. My client was only 15. So I don't normally do teenagers, but I had done a favor for a client of mine who really wanted her daughter to have this session, and she did remarkable. Um, I recently shared her session on my YouTube channel, and oh no, did I put it on YouTube or my podcast? It's on one of those. It's on one, and it's on my podcast. Yeah. And yes, so her father they were able to reunite at the end. So I love, love, love that part of the session. It's not just past life regression, it's connecting you with your loved ones also.
yes, goes very, very deep and is extremely healing.
Yes, it it is. I have no words.
That's why it's so powerful,
Hmm.
very powerful.
Yeah.
Wow, that will make me a little bit emotional.
Yes.
I have our last question. Is
Mhm.
there a frequent information that has come up in many of your sessions last year? Or perhaps a message to humanity?
Um, the messages, I don't always ask that question. There have been some where my clients are going and they're experiencing their higher selves, and there has been some, nothing that really stands out, nothing that we have never heard before, to be honest. Um, However, I do want to share what Metatron said to me on my podcast. It's a Q&A with Metatron, and the channel, her name is Wendy Gale. She brings in Metatron as a full body channel. And I asked Metatron, what can we expect from 2024? And
I'm
what
gonna
he
cry.
said, yeah, it was really interesting. He said, For many, 2024 is going to be a sink or swim year. And he says, let me clarify, because sinking in no way means failing. Okay. But let's start with the swimmers. The swimmers are going to attain more growth in 1 year in 2024 than they have in the last 10 years. It's like all the work that they've been doing for all these years, 2024 is going to be the climax for them, right?
I can see that.
Yeah. And I will say, I've admitted that I have 4 sons, and one of my son I can see, because the last 10 years have been really hard for him to find his way career-wise, right? 10 years of a lot of nothing. Okay.
Mm.
And he was feeling the pressure. He was definitely feeling the pressure. And now he has his absolute dream job. And I know that the last 10 years, have brought him now to this. So he is definitely going to be a swimmer. I can see it already happening, which is really beautiful. Now, let's talk about the sinkers. What he said about the sinkers is that there are going to be those that are now going to go inward. And that's what they mean by sinkers. They're
Oh,
sinking
it's a
inward.
beautiful thing.
Yes, to do the work, right? They are going to maybe start therapy, right? Start getting help for their mental health, maybe get sober, right? And so there's going to be a lot of sinkers doing that deep, deep work that they have been ignoring for far too long. And then by achieving that, they will grow in 2025.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yes, yes.
It's
I
very, very
loved that.
beautiful.
Mhm.
And just talking about really seeking, we that started our spiritual path a while ago, we're kind of the lucky ones because
Mhm.
we had time to digest lots of things. That wasn't easy.
That's right.
But because we're going to the golden ages, the light is already here. The shadows will have to go away,
Mm,
and they can see that sinking. There will be people that will have to learn in 1 year what we had the privilege to learn in 5 years.
That's
And
right.
we'll be here to help them.
Yes, we are here to help you. Yes.
Mayra, has been a pleasure. I love you.
Thank you. I love
Nossa, sim,
you.
você só